From SVL Free News and Iredell County Sheriff's Office Community Watch for July 2019. As you can see behind me is the jail expansion project, which continues. We talked to Sheriff Darren Campbell, and he told us that he anticipates the project being completed around September or October of this year. We'll keep you up to date on that. He also wants to thank everybody out there who's tuned in on previous shows for the Most Wanted. You've tuned in or you've called in and given them tips which led to the arrest and also the conviction of some of the folks who are on the Most Wanted here in Iredell County. So thank you very much for tuning in on that. Also on today's program, he talks about the RAD program, the Rape Aggression Defense System program he's offering. It's a class which teaches people how to respond in case they're attacked. And he talks about that program, which is available to folks here in Iredell County. Also, he wants to thank HEXPOL, a local industry here who has provided some equipment, very valuable equipment to the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, and how he wants to thank them for that. So let's tune in right now to Mike Furman and talk to Sheriff Darren Campbell on this month's edition of Iredell County Community Watch for July 2019.
Thanks, Brian. I'm here this week with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell for the next edition of Community Watch. Sheriff, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hope your summer's going well.
It is, and it's hot enough.
It is. It has been. Let's start right off with the Most Wanted.
Well, we'll start with our first one this week. Our number one person is April Elaine Cape. She is 32 years old of 516 Harris Bridge Road in Stony Point, North Carolina, and she is currently wanted for felony breaking and entering and misdemeanor larceny. She has a criminal history of other break-ins, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of stolen goods. Our second person is Sharon Murdoch. He's 28 years old of 266 Long Street in Statesville, North Carolina. He is wanted for assault inflicting serious bodily injury and interfering with emergency communication and misdemeanor larceny. Our third person is James Griffin Jr. He's 38 years old of 248 Litton Street, which is down in Troutman, North Carolina. 2 counts of habitual misdemeanor assault, misdemeanor injury to real property. Our next person up is Samuel James Lowe. He is 23 years old of 1421 5th Street here in Statesville, North Carolina. He's wanted for felony breaking and entering a motor vehicle and felony larceny motor vehicle. And our last person this week is Donald Lee Beaver. He's 33 years old of 247 Hamilton Road in Troutman, North Carolina. And he is currently wanted for felony breaking and entering, felony larceny, and misdemeanor resist and obstruct and delay. And he has a lengthy criminal history also here in Iredell County.
No, I think those are all new people. Does that mean you've apprehended everyone
We've had
else?
great success. So they've not been reprofiled against. That means the program is working great to get them.
All right. And if people have information on the whereabouts of any of these individuals, what's the best way to contact you?
Sometimes you can send us through social media at Iredell County Sheriff. You can email us through iredellsheriff.com or simply call 704-878-3100, which is our communications line.
Okay. Moving along. Busy time for your department. You're bringing on 7 new resource officers for the next school year. Those are all positions that were added to the budget and approved by the county commission. Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for in a resource officer, and then the training, the special training they might undergo to be ready for that type of work.
Well, these school resource officers are new to the county. We've often advocated for our elementary schools by going through deputies, doing ride-throughs, just being seen at the schools. So we've always, for the last several years, had a presence of a school resource officer in our middle and high school. But this will be new this year to have the presence in our elementary schools. And obviously by the numbers, don't match the numbers of the elementary schools we have. But what we'll do is we'll split the time. This one SRO will most likely or will work the 2 geographically located closest schools. So give an example would be maybe Scotts and Central, Harmony and Union Grove. So they'll split their time between those schools. The schedules will be just with the administration there at the school and us. So it'll constantly be back and forth. They'll be there at different times, different schools, different days of the week. As far as some of the specialized training, we're lucky enough in this round of hiring we've got some experience. Some of the officers that will be in schools are upwards of 12 years experience. We will do a lot of specialized training. As far as crisis intervention, doing a lot of stuff dealing with our SRO certification, which is a special certification. We want all these to be SRO certified through this year. A lot of specialized medical training and also active shooter training that we've got to be prepared for. I'm really looking forward. I think it's going to be cutting edge to have SROs in our elementary school. And like I said, not just for the active shooters, but for offender rates, suicide, drug abuse, where these kids later in life may remember these times spent with an SRO in an elementary school.
Now, is it your goal to eventually have a full-time SRO in each school?
Absolutely, it'd be a goal. There's so many benefits of having these SROs in every elementary school. So next year we've worked out half of them in our elementary school this year in this year's budget, or upcoming year's budget. I would love to go back to the commissioners again and ask for funding to complete the SRO program at all of our elementary schools.
Now, is the funding for these positions coming out of that special budget line that the commissioners put in this year for school safety and security?
Yes, all the elementary schools, some of the SROs will also be that. And then you do this funding, but there's also reimbursements that we get from the state on the high school and middle school. Especially our high schools. We always pay for our own middle school SROs. So they've invested in this at the time to make sure our children are safe and looking like with us, and when we went to the commissioners about these positions, and we're not just investing in next year, we're investing in 5-10 years down the road as far as crime rates. So that's one of the huge impacts this will have in our elementary schools.
Okay, and a local company, HEXPOL Compounding, has donated some equipment. I'd like to talk about that a little bit and how you plan to use that.
Well, to set up, HEXPOL Compounding is a local company here in Iredell County. We had done a rate progression training with them, and they in turn seen some of the equipment that we had maybe a little bit outdated. So they took it upon themselves to go purchase this equipment and donate it back to the sheriff's office to help with our rate progression defense training.
Well, that's incredible. So they donated flash drives, cameras, batteries, GoPro HD camera, hard cases to maintain and store this equipment. And how do you use that in that training?
We do a training. You learn to record stuff, go back and play it. The stand to sort of demonstrate a lot of different things that we use, and you know that's great in them to take this. I mean, it was over $1,000 worth of equipment that they donated back here, and you know, I think it's a testament to how good the instructors are that do the class, that they impact the company this much. They turn around and donate us stuff to help others.
And you have the next rape, aggression, defense class coming up on July 20th and 21st. It's like a day and a half of training,
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday. How can people sign up for that?
If you'll contact us there again through social media, you can email me. You can go on Iredell Sheriff and get up with Investigator Brooks Myers. She's the one that sings it, or Katie Harwell. There's numerous ways to get a hold of it. It's on Facebook. Send us a message. We'll get you in. I've been by most of the classes they have. Try to stop by on a Saturday and see how they're doing. And it is a large group, and it's been great and a lot of fun to watch them do that.
Now, let's talk for one more minute about this is community outreach.
Absolutely.
You regularly have these type of programs. You've started the Teen Academy. The next class is going through there right now. Why are these efforts so important to your mission?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, and you know, not just the Teen Academy and the RAD training, but you got Church Shield, our Faith Watch, our active shooter training, our mobile classroom that goes to schools. It is so valuable to build those relationships up with everybody. They understand what we're doing. They understand what we expect. We exchange information, tell them how to reduce crime in their communities, how to stay away from drug abuse with the kids. So we can see that through our uniform crime reports, that just in the last 3 to 4 to 5 years that we see some of our property crime and index crimes coming down, and that's what's great. And to build, and in the end, friends talk to friends, and that's what I've said. That's what I believe, and it has been huge in our crime statistics and overall health from the sheriff's office.
Well, I applaud your effort on that behalf, and I know your deputies do a lot of the work, and the community certainly appreciates that. And again, we enjoy spending the time with you every month, and look forward to visiting with you again next month.
Hey, it's great. Thank you for taking the time to come by.